Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Ting, and I help you learn Chinese in a simple and practical way. Today, we're going to learn a very important Chinese word, cai. This word is often used to express that something happens later than expected, or that something is small in amount or age. It is a very common word in daily Chinese, but many learners find it confusing at first. I'll explain everything clearly in English with simple Chinese examples. You can also turn on subtitles and choose your preferred language. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Have you ever been, just frustratingly late to something really important?
Or, on the flip side, have you ever been totally shocked by how incredibly cheap a beautiful piece of clothing is?
Well, if you're nodding your head right now, you are absolutely going to love today's topic. We're mastering a magical little Chinese grammar point that captures exactly those specific feelings. We're talking about the word cai.
It is such a tiny word, but it has a huge personality. It can literally change the whole vibe of a sentence. Let's dive right in.
All right, here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with actions that happen late, and then we'll tackle the ultimate comparison, cai versus jiu.
After that, we'll see how cai can actually express a surprisingly small quantity. We'll wrap things up with a little interactive practice and a quick summary. If you're an HSK3 learner, seriously, don't sweat it. Just follow along with us, and mastering this is going to be a breeze.
Okay, section 1. Action happens late. Better late than never.
Let's get right to decoding exactly how to express lateness and delay in everyday Chinese.
So cai functions as an adverb. Its main job is to show that an action or an event happens late, or at least later than you originally expected it to.
And here's your golden rule for building a sentence with it. Cai goes directly after a time word. The structure is super simple. Time happens first, then you add cai, and then the action.
Let's look at a real-world scenario. Imagine our friend Xiao Wang. He is absolutely exhausted today.
And here's why. 昨天晚上看球赛2点才睡觉, which means watched a soccer game last night, didn't sleep until 2 a.m.
Now, because 2 a.m. is way later than a normal bedtime, we put the time 2点, or 2 o'clock, first. Then we just drop in our magic word cai right before the action, 睡觉, to sleep. It perfectly highlights how insanely late he stayed awake.
Now picture this. You're a stressed out traveler. The clock says 8:15 a.m.
Oh no!
终于来了.
Finally here.
都8点一刻了.
It's already 8:15.
And your panicked response?
对不起，来机场的路上才发现没带护照。
Sorry, on the way to the airport, I just realized I forgot my passport. To summarize this usage really quickly, cai perfectly captures that delayed, frustrating realization. It places the action right after the time frame of being on the way to the airport. Basically, you realized it way too late. Moving on to section 2, cai versus jiu, the ultimate showdown. This is probably the biggest trap for Chinese beginners, getting early and late mixed up, but we've got a foolproof trick to help you tell them apart forever. Here is the big grammatical secret. Jiu is used when things happen early or really easily. And the strict rule, a sentence with jiu must end with the character le. They're basically best friends.
Exactly. But for cai, which we use for when things are late, the rule completely flips. A sentence with cai never ends with le. Late cai and le literally do not mix.
Let's test this out with a scenario. Imagine you have a class at 8:30 a.m.
Right, so if you arrive early at 8 a.m., you'd say 8点就到了.
Arrived at 8 o'clock. Early means we use jiu, and it ends with le. That's totally correct.
But if you just say 8点就到 without the le, that's wrong. You can't leave Joe hanging without its partner.
Now what if you oversleep, and you arrive late at 9 a.m.? You'd say 9点才到, arrived at 9 o'clock. It's late, so we use cai. And notice, there's no le at the end. Perfectly correct.
Yep. If you say 9点才到了, you've added an extra la where it absolutely doesn't belong. Just remember, cai rejects la.
All right, section 3, small quantity. Is that all?
Yep. Cai actually has a second superpower. It's not just about being late. It can express surprise in a completely different way.
So cai can also indicate that an amount is remarkably small or that a time is surprisingly early. But pay super close attention here because the placement rule completely flips. When we use cai to mean a very small amount, it goes before the numbers or the time. It's kind of like you're building up your surprise right before you reveal the tiny number. Let's look at a cute example. Imagine seeing a tiny little kid with this massive, oversized backpack. You might ask her parents, is little Qing in elementary school yet?
And they reply, 没呢，今年才6岁，明年秋天上1年级。
No, only 6 years old this year, starting first grade next fall. Here, 才6岁 translates to only 6 years old. The 才 goes right in front of the age to emphasize how surprisingly young she still is. Or picture this everyday scene. Your friend is stressing out, terrified you're both going to be late. But you look at your watch, completely calm. You tell them, 不会迟的，才2点半，还有1个多小时呢。We won't be late. It's only 2:30. There's still over an hour left. To summarize this second usage, by putting 才 directly before 2:30, you're emphasizing that the time is surprisingly early, which instantly calms your stressed friend down.
Section 4. Let's practice together. Time to put your knowledge to the test.
Don't be nervous at all. We're going to walk through these challenges right here with you. All right, here's your very first pop quiz. The sentence is, 今天上午8点有考试，所以我昨天晚上10点怎么睡的? Exam at 8 a.m., so I slept at 10 p.m. last night. Are you going to choose 就 or 才?
Let's think about the logic. Sleeping at 10 p.m. before an 8 a.m. exam. That's a pretty early, responsible bedtime, right?
Exactly. And look closely at the very end of the sentence. There's a la sitting right there.
Bingo. Because 10 p.m. is an early action, and there's a la at the end, the correct answer absolutely has to be 就. Great job if you guessed that.
Okay, challenge number 2. 我的车今天早上坏了，我10点才 or 就到办公室. My car broke down this morning, arrived at the office at 10 a.m. Is it 就 or 才? Let's break it down together. If your car breaks down, that causes a frustrating delay. Arriving at 10 a.m. is definitely late for work. Plus, look at the end of the sentence. There's no la at all. You nailed it. Because the action is late and there's no la, the answer must be 才. The full sentence is 10点才到办公室. Perfect! Let's do a really quick matching game to wrap up our practice session. We need to match the context clues with the impressively small quantities. Okay, here's the first one. 这条裙子不贵. This skirt is not expensive. What does that logically match with?
Well, if it's not expensive, it's gotta match the price. 才200块, only 200 RMB.
Spot on. Next context. 新来的校长很年轻. The new principal is very young.
Young naturally matches with age. So,
今年才40岁.
Only 40 years old this year.
And the very last one. 我学习汉语的时间不长.
I haven't studied Chinese for a long time. That clearly matches the duration.
才1个月, only 1 month.
See how perfectly that works? The 才 is placed right before the number in all 3 examples to show just how remarkably small or short the amount is.
Section 5, Summary and Next Time. You made it! Learning a new grammar point takes real focus, and you put in some amazing effort today. Let's quickly lock in everything we learned today. Rule 1. For a late action, 才 is placed after the time, just like our tired soccer fan. 2点才睡觉.
Rule 2. The golden rule. 才 never uses le, but its early bird counterpart, 就, always partners with le.
And finally, Rule 3. To show a surprisingly small quantity or early time, the placement rule flips. It's placed before the numbers or the time, just like the young student, 才little sui. That is an excellent summary. Now, before we let you go, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought. Are you ready to level up your Chinese skills even more?
Because next time, we are going to dive straight into the fascinating adverb gung, G-O-N-G. It's used to compare things and show a real deepening of degree. It is incredibly useful for making your everyday conversations sound much more native.
So keep actively practicing your tai and zhou in your daily life. Keep up the fantastic learning, and we'll see you right back here in the next explainer to explore the power of gung. Bye for now.
Great job finishing today's lesson. Now you understand how to use tai to express delayed actions and small quantities in Chinese. You also learned the important difference between tai and zhou, which will help you sound more natural in real conversations. If you'd like personalized speaking practice and feedback, you can book a trial lesson through my Preply link in the description. If this lesson helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. In the next lesson, we'll learn gung and how to express comparison and increasing degree in Chinese. See you next time!